Today we will understand SQC1 completely in a very simple manner. Welcome students, I am your faculty, and today we have a very important explainer class ahead of us. We are going to take the entire Standard on Quality Control 1, break it down from scratch, and build up your concepts so strongly that you absolutely will not forget them. Now, whether you are learning this for the very first time or you're just revising for your upcoming exams, I want your full, undivided focus. Let's make this highly technical standard very, very easy for you.
Here is our step-by-step agenda for today's class. We'll start with a basic introduction, cover the foundation and ethics, and then move right into people and performance. After that, we'll look at monitoring and records, go through some practical audit examples, and close out with a strict, exam-focused rapid revision. All right, let us start with Section 1. Before we can start memorizing all the clauses, we really need to understand the basic applicability. Let's define our terms clearly. SQC1 stands for Standard on Quality Control 1. Now, who does this apply to? It applies to all firms that perform audits and reviews of historical financial information. That means every single audit firm out there must follow it, no exceptions. Now, the main objective here is to give the firm something called reasonable assurance. This means a high but not absolute level of assurance that the firm and its staff comply with professional standards and that the audit reports they issue are appropriate. Please remember this term, reasonable assurance, for your exams. Now, you might be wondering, why does SQC1 even exist? Why is it so absolutely crucial for audit firms? Let me give you a very simple example. Imagine an audit firm doesn't check the work of its junior staff. The junior makes a massive mistake, and a totally wrong audit report gets signed. What happens next? Well, the firm faces serious legal problems, they could lose their license, and their reputation completely ruined overnight. Poor quality work literally destroys a firm. On the flip side, if a firm follows SQC1 properly, it brings reliability. Proper quality control means a great reputation, safety from legal issues, and high-quality audit reports. That is the big picture here. Let's move to Section 2, which covers foundation and ethics. Please pay very close attention here, students, because we are now entering the main framework of the standard. This right here is the most crucial part of SQC1. The standard requires every single firm to have a system of quality control that covers 6 mandatory elements. To make this super easy for you to memorize, I have a simple memory trick. The word is LEAHM. Let me spell that out. L for leadership, E for ethical requirements, A for acceptance, H for human resources, E for engagement performance, M for monitoring. If you know LEAHM, you know the entire structure of SQC1. Let us understand the first 3 elements right now.
Step 1 is leadership. This means the managing partners must take ultimate responsibility for quality. They have to set a tone at the top that clearly says quality is always, always more important than commercial profit. Step 2 is ethical requirements. Staff must follow integrity, objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, and professional behavior. Now, a major part of ethics is independence. You must be completely independent of your client. And here is a very important exam point. For listed entities, the engagement partner must be rotated after a predefined period, normally not more than 7 years. Why? To avoid the familiarity threat. Step 3 is acceptance and continuance. Before accepting a new client, you absolutely must evaluate them. Does the client have integrity? Does your firm have the competence, the resources, and the independence to actually do the job? If the client's management is dishonest, you must simply refuse the audit.
So here is your quick exam revision summary for this part. Remember, leadership sets the quality tone from the top, ethics ensure your firm maintains its independence and integrity, and acceptance procedures keep bad and dishonest clients completely away from your firm.
Let us move on to Section 3, People and Performance. We've covered the foundation, so now we transition into the daily operational side of the audit firm.
We continue with our LEAM trick. Step 4 is H for human resources. Look, an audit firm is only as good as its people. The firm must have solid policies for recruitment, training, performance evaluation, capability, and competence. You simply must hire competent staff and keep training them continuously. Step 5 is E for engagement performance. This is all about how the actual audit work is done on the ground. It includes direction, supervision, and review. Senior staff must actively supervise the juniors. If there is a complex technical issue, the team must do consultation with experts. And listen to this. If there is a difference of opinion within the team, the final audit report must not be issued until that difference is completely resolved. Under engagement performance, there is one very special concept. I will speak very slowly here so you understand this perfectly. It is called Engagement Quality Control Review, or EQCR. What is it? It is an objective evaluation of the significant judgments made by the engagement team. It must be done by someone who is not part of the audit team. And mark this point carefully, EQCR is strictly mandatory for the audits of all listed entities. Plus, the review must be completed before the audit report is issued. You absolutely cannot sign that report until the EQCR is finished. Time for our second exam revision summary. To really lock in these concepts, remember, quality staff recruited through human resources require proper direction and supervision, and EQCR provides the final objective safety net for listed entities before the audit report is ever issued. Now we direct our attention to Section 4, Monitoring and Records. This covers the final element of SQC1 and some highly tested numerical rules regarding audit documentation. The final letter in LEAMM is M for monitoring. Element 6 says a firm must continuously monitor its own quality control system. You must inspect your own completed engagements on a cyclical basis, actively looking for corrective actions and continuous improvement. Normally, this cycle spans no more than 3 years. Basically, you inspect your own firm to ensure rules are actually being followed. Next, let us look at documentation. Why is it necessary? Because it proves you did the work properly during peer reviews and inspections. The firm must have strict policies for the safe custody and retention of working papers. There are 2 numbers you must memorize for your exams. Assembly of the final audit file must be done on a timely basis, ordinarily not more than 60 days after the date of the auditor's report. And retention? You must keep these records safe for a minimum period of 7 years from the date of the auditor's report. 60 days and 7 years. Remember that. Here is your third exam revision summary. For monitoring and records, remember to inspect your own firm's work internally every 3 years. Assemble your files in 60 days, and most importantly, keep all engagement files safe, confidential, and completely unaltered for at least 7 years. Let's move to Section 5. To truly understand the theory we just studied, we must apply it to real-life audit office situations, because examiners love practical questions. Let us see how SQC1 works in practice. Imagine you discover a new client might be involved in money laundering, where they aggressively push for very low fees. This triggers your acceptance rules. You must not accept them. What if a managing partner tells the staff to just ignore quality and focus on billing? That is a complete failure of leadership. What if a partner audits the exact same listed company for 10 years straight? That is an ethics violation of the 7-year independence rule. Sending untrained articles to a complex bank audit, that's a human resources failure. If the team faces a complex tax issue they do not understand, or partners disagree on an accounting treatment, that falls under engagement performance. A listed company audit report signed without a second objective check, that violates the EQCR requirement. If the firm has never checked its own quality over the last 5 years, that is a failure of monitoring. And leaving audit files scattered around the office for 6 months, a clear violation of your documentation assembly rules. As you can see, every practical problem maps directly back to these LEHM elements. We have now reached Section 6, Exam Focus and Revision. I am adopting a very strict exam-focused tone now. Students, please pay maximum attention as we cover exactly what the examiner wants from you. These are the top areas where students make mistakes in the exam. First, the 7-year partner rotation rule. Remember, it applies specifically to listed entities to prevent familiarity threats. Second, client acceptance. Always write that you must check the client's integrity and your firm's competence before saying yes. Third, EQCR eligibility. The reviewer must be objective. They cannot be chosen by the engagement partner, and they cannot make decisions for the engagement team. Fourth, differences of opinion. Remember clearly, if a difference exists, the audit report absolutely cannot be issued until it is resolved. And fifth, the 7-year documentation retention rule. From the date of the auditor's report, files are the property of the firm and must be kept perfectly safe for 7 years. Now, let us do a rapid-fire mental map revision. Let's connect the dots in your mind quickly. Objective, reasonable assurance of quality. Applicability, all firms doing audits and reviews. The core, LEHM, leadership for tone at the top, ethics for independence, acceptance for checking client integrity, human resources for competent staff, engagement performance for direction, supervision, and consultation, monitoring to inspect internal work every 3 years. EQCR, mandatory for listed entities, objective check, and must be done before the report is issued. Documentation, assemble in 60 days, retain for 7 years.
That is your entire standard connected together on one single page.
If you remember the 6 elements and their purpose, you have understood the heart of SOQ1. Keep the LEAHM trick in your mind and apply these practical examples to your exams. But before we finish today, I want to leave you with this provocative question for your future career. When you step into your audit firm tomorrow as a professional, are you truly enforcing a culture of quality, or are you just ticking boxes on a compliance checklist? Think about it. Thank you for joining this complete revision explainer class. Keep learning, keep revising, and keep growing.